let's, now, before I start this is really antiquated, these slides. So when you see it and some of the things they say, we'll laugh about it, but the content in them has not changed over the years, and I don't think will ever change. And so we'll watch some of this. A lot of this was taken a long time ago at Fairway Sports World. In fact, I think some of Helen Slew's brother is in this, and he's no longer with us. But remember that well, you'll see. And we'll do it through a couple of these. I'll give you a break, let you stretch. Anyone smoke here that has to go outside? No smokers? There's one.
I am, but I don't need to go outside. I can wait until the end.
Okay. We'll take a 10-15 minute break. It's hard sitting anyway. So. I've been involved with Candlepin bowling, well, personally since I was 12 or 13 years old. Actually took up the game at that early age. My parents did it, so I followed in the footsteps of my parents, and got to the point where I was pretty good at it, and I was interested in the game. From there, it went on to bowl professionally at it, and from there, it went from a teaching job that I had to teaching bowling, getting into the bowling business, owning my own center for 17 years. Always been involved with the state associations as well as the international, and that's my present position is the executive manager of the International Candlepin Bowling Association.
Well, I got involved about 13 years ago, once I got out of college. My father bowled probably 40 years. He was a professional Candlepin bowler, so I used to go watch him, but I never really wanted to bowl. I always played hockey and baseball and everything else.
My brothers and I grew up in the business. We have been in the business since, since I was just a little kid. I'm not going to tell you how old that is. In 1952, though, my father went out on his own and started his own business, E-Perella Company, which is now known as EPCO. And from there, my brothers and I took it over in the 60s after we graduated from college, and we went into the manufacturing of the bowling balls. People sometimes refer to candle bowling as candlestick bowling. And believe it or not, the first pins looked exactly like candlesticks down at the end of the lanes. After a couple years, they come out with a pin that had some curves to it to try to add a little bit more excitement and action to the pins. And eventually, in 1885, Jack Munsey, who's considered the father of present-day modern Candlepin bowling, because we still use his specifications today, and this pin is from his actual collection, came up with the specifications that we're presently using today. The first pins were obviously just plain wood, and the ends used to get chipped and marked up to the point where they wouldn't stand up. Then they started painting the pins white with a red stripe on it to add some color to it. And after the Second World War, with the advent of plastics, because of war research and development, they started putting plastic caps on each end of the pins to help protect the ends. And eventually they started making a plastic coated pins with plastic caps. And then we had, with the pin today that we have, it's an all synthetic pin. We've had it since around 1962, 63. It's by Garland Manufacturing in Maine, and 99.9% of the bowling centers use the Garland pin because by far it's the most superior pin on the market.
Well, I moved here in 1984 from the Midwest, from the Detroit area, which is a big hotbed for 10-pin bowling, and having moved here and putting on the television one Saturday afternoon watching Channel 5, seeing Candlepin for the first time just blew me away because I never knew it existed. Within a couple of years, it became pretty clear that it would be tough to find a 10-pin bowling center that I could join on a league, so I thought, why not try Candlepin bowling for a change? It looks like a challenge.
He just shook his head like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I came right off the wall. Look at this break. That was quite a shot. The 6 and 10 going out, as you see right there. He's got the pin on the other side. The last 2 pins down, 6-10. That's the fun spare they've now for Paul Barasa. Merrimack, New Hampshire.
A male name. The history of my candlepin bowling actually started in 10-pin. I was a 10-pin bowler when I was 16, 17 years old, and I threw 2 perfect games in a tournament in Providence, Rhode Island. And a 16, 17-year-old kid, I had mastered the game at that point, and there was no more challenge to 10-pin bowling. I left my bowling ball in the bowling center and I walked out, and I've never been back to 10-pin since.
You guys are going down. I got 6 kids who are going to take you guys out like you've never been taken out. It doesn't matter. Oh, I'm sorry. And you may be my son, you may be my good friend, but tomorrow it doesn't matter. You guys are just going to go down and no mercy, we're going to squash you like that.
I don't know why candlepin bowling never caught on anywhere else. I think the candlepin industry was never really that great at promoting itself. It was a nice regional activity. 10-pin bowling, meanwhile, had the benefit of network television shows. The show that I grew up watching in the 50s and early 60s, a show called Championship Bowling, ran nationally every Sunday at noon. And that's what got me hooked on 10-pin bowling when I was probably 6 or 7 years old.
It's our feeling that if it's marketed correctly, it can succeed. However, I think to spread the game, you must be on the border of Candlepin now, you know, Connecticut, and then move out from there. Just to put a Candlepin lane in the middle of a 10-pin country is very, very difficult, because it's I don't want to say it's a more difficult sport, but it's a total different sport. It's more challenging, and the margin of error compared to 10-pin is a lot greater.